Good morning and welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, our multi-generational, spiritually alive, justice-centered, and becoming tech-savvy community. My name is David Snedden, and I have been your volunteer worship tech director for a year now. We are so glad you're with us, those who are visitors and longtime members, those who live down the street, and those across the globe. Welcome to our virtual sanctuary on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember, you can subscribe, like, and share these videos as a way to connect friends and family to Unitarian Universalism and to our community. We have a couple of announcements this morning. First, you are invited to a midweek renewal service on Wednesday evening, March 17th at 7 p.m. on Zoom called Perspectives from the Pandemic. This will be a chance to connect and to continue to share our wisdom and experience over the last year. Second, a shout out to our Care Hub and the whole caring team for all they have done and will do, including spiritual companioning, cards, visits, grocery shopping, meal delivery, and care packages to brighten someone's day in this time of physical distance. If you have a milestone that you'd like to share in our coffee hours following the services or on our care webpage, www.muuf.org/caring, please email care@muuf.org. Third, today's offering will be split 50-50 between our fellowship and Wind of the Spirit, who is one of our community partners and an Immigrants Resources and Rights Collective. Wind of the Spirit shows up in so many places supporting access to fair wages, health care, equity in education, affordable housing, and the critical work of advocacy and public policies that promote the well-being of immigrants in our community and throughout the state. Thank you for your generosity. It makes a difference. And now, a special welcome to Diane Marks, Chair of the Care Hub, who will light our chalice this morning.
Good morning. It is our tradition to light the chalice at the beginning of our gatherings. I invite you at home to join me in lighting your chalice. I will be lighting the chalice this morning to a reading that Karen uses when meeting. With gratitude, we light this chalice as a symbol of our purpose to bring more love and a caring spirit. We join our hearts and our minds to the one great flame of bright compassion. May we light the path to bring smiles, to listen actively, and to affirm the words of others. Amen.
Oh, we started out so small, we were hardly there at all. We are the river flowing on, and in just a little while we have covered many a mile. We are the river flowing on. We are the river. If you like our music, you can join our song. We are the river. Come along, come along, come along. Rushing down the mountainside with the future open wide. We are the river flowing on, flowing onward through the night, flowing on into the light. We are the river flowing on. We are the river. If you like our music, you can join our song. We are the river. Come along, come along, come along. From 100 separate streams, from 100 human dreams, we are the river flowing on, flowing on. From unnumbered hills we come, yet our journey makes us one. We are the river flowing on. like our music, you can join our song. We are the river. Come along, come along, come along. Down the valley, through the plain, we flow on, yet we remain. We are the river, flowing on, singing joyful, singing free, singing onward to the sea. We are the river, flowing on. We are the river. If you like our music, you can join our song. We are the river. Come along, come along, come along. Come along, come along, come along.
A spiritual question for all ages is, why do we do rituals together here at the fellowship? For that matter, what is a ritual? A ritual is a practice that helps us to make meaning and to make an experience memorable. A ritual can also connect us to each other in our joy or in our sorrow. A ritual helps us to name the transitions in our lives and supports us in our moving from one place to another or from one feeling to another. Rituals help us in a time of uncertainty and confusion to create some order out of chaos. When the spike in coronavirus became so high last March that we had to close the doors of the fellowship, as did schools and restaurants and workplaces, one of the most difficult losses was our access to rituals of transition that we count on to honor milestones like graduations, memorial services, and weddings. Rituals punctuate our days, our weeks, our years, our lives. To the children who are here, you know this instinctively. At bedtime, what do you want most right before you fall asleep? Tell me. Did you say a hug or being tucked in? Did you name a particular stuffed animal or lovey? Did you say bedtime story? The actions that go before you fall asleep help you prepare your mind and body for rest. They help move you from a state of feeling awake to the state of sleep. And this is not just kid stuff. Many of us never outgrow reading right before bed or a cup of sleepy time tea or the like. There are daily rituals that help us to center, to pause, to be present to gratitude, to joy, to sorrow, to whatever we are feeling. Yoga, saying grace, lighting our chalice, a phone call, a walk, a number of activities might qualify for our daily ritual. One of our shared weekly rituals is gathering here together for worship. When coronavirus closed our doors, we wondered at first, how would we continue this practice that provides a kind of period at the end of our week and helps us to reflect on our lives, including the values we hope will guide us in the week ahead. It's also a weekly practice of visiting with friends, hugs, handshakes, of learning, of listening, of singing, of joy, of tears, of so many things. But that is part of the power of rituals. They can be adapted. They can change. In fact, some rituals exist to help us make sense of the ways that we need to adapt and change, or of how the world is changing. Some are unique and created for a particular moment never to be repeated in exactly the same way. Some rituals are more permanent in nature, meaning that they are traditions that don't change very much, that hold us in good times and in bad times, and are a constant when the world is changing. Continuing to light our chalice and repeating words like love is the spirit of this fellowship and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. That's a great example of such a traditional guiding practice. Rituals are multisensory, meaning they include sights, sounds, tastes, movement, and touch. One of the sights that appear in an important Unitarian Universalist milestone ritual called a child dedication or a baby dedication is the rose. When we bless children in a dedication ceremony, we offer the gift of a rose to symbol the beautiful and unique unfolding of that particular child's personality and gifts. We dip the rose in water as the source of life, and then we place that rose on the child's head. The water, the flower, symbolizes a connection to the source of life we all need to thrive. Then later, when our youth participate in a coming of age ceremony, as will happen here on May 16th, the rose reappears. This time when we offer each of our youth a rose, again a reminder of their beauty and unique gifts, we don't pull off the thorns, symbolizing our confidence that they are ready to face the challenges that life includes. We are not alone in including the rose in these rituals. And so when we do this, we are united with all the other families and children who have been dedicated in our sanctuary, and with Unitarian Universalists across the country who hold high hopes for their youth and a desire to be their community as they grow from infants to youth to young adults, and ultimately, hopefully, to elders. What are the important rituals to you that you have figured out how to continue during this time of social distancing? What are the new rituals that you have developed and created to nourish yourself or your loved ones in this time? I'll give you a moment to think of one or two examples. You can write them in the comments on Facebook or in the chat on YouTube. That's one place where we are developing a brand new weekly ritual of communication and community building, a place to express what we are feeling and to exchange ideas. I know some of you really like it, while others prefer to ignore the comments and the chat. Both are fine. No practice or ritual is right for everyone. And that's why I'm grateful there are so many varied examples that we can choose from at different times in our lives. Again, consider sharing the rituals that have been most meaningful or helpful to you in the chat, or you can share them in coffee hour following the service. Your idea may just spark something to someone else, a nourishing practice that might make a difference in their lives. Sometimes there isn't a well-trodden ritual, especially for the moments in history that are so unique. To the children and adults of all ages, this is the first time in our lives that we are facing the likes of a pandemic as life-altering as this one. This is the first time in the history of our congregation that our doors have been closed for 1 year. We were last in our sanctuary on March 8th, 2020. Except for the minority of people over 103, this is the first time that we must count the loss of 525,000 lives in our country due to a pandemic. We'll mark this solemn occasion by counting the losses, by acknowledging the need for healing, and by naming what we hope could be born of this time. My pandemic pod, David and Asher, will join me in creating this ritual, which involves 3 movements.
First, we will drop 6 rose petals. The first 5 petals represent the ending of 100,000 lives, plus 1 more petal for the continuing losses.
Second, the petals will fall into a bowl of water. We will touch this water, a precious source of life and healing.
Third, we will light 6 candles and name the dawning light we hope will also be born in us, among us, and around us as we move from winter to spring.
Deeper compassion.
Spiritual growth.
Courageous love.
Commitment to equity.
Advancing truth.
Building the beloved community.
Amen and blessed be.
This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. I am Abigail, and this is Sean, and we're so glad that you've turned this on and welcomed us into your home, and you are welcome into our home. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We're in Sean's parents' house.
My parents' house.
Sean's parents' house. We were in Louisville when the hit, and we packed our 3-year-old into a car. We drove kind of far. We drove here, and we've been so lucky and blessed to be safely here. And we thought we'd be here for like 10 days tops.
What did we know?
What did we know?
What did we know?
We thought we knew a lot. We thought we knew a lot.
Keep going, keep going,
Woo!
keep going
on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. And we've been mostly healthy. We've been okay. Are you okay? Are you alright? Are you okay? Are you alright? Are you okay? I hope your body is whole tonight. And if your heart is breaking, I hope it's breaking open. And if your breath is shaking, I hope it's shaking through. And I hope that you've watched a lot of really great television, like a lot of it. And I hope that you find a hand lotion that actually makes your skin feel better. And I hope that you have enough to eat. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and I hope you have enough good company or enough good memory to last you a long time. Keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on, song. We sing the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on, song. Let's bring some joy into the room, why not? We can try it, or some rage, and some grief and relief. Ooh, I hope my rage, I pray my rage is a fire that cleans my mind out and makes me ready to listen. I pray my pain is a river that flows to the ocean, that connects my pain to yours. And I pray my happiness is like pollen that flies to you and pollinates your joy. Oh boy, is that possible? I don't know. We are making this up as we go. We have to make it up as we go. The keep going song, the keep going song. Oh, we're making it up. We're making it up as we go. Keep going on. Keep going on, song. And I pray that when we meet again, that the world has changed into the world that we are imagining now together. And I pray that the world has become the world that we're planting inside of ourselves, for each other and for our ancestors and for our kids. Ooh, and we're gonna start. This is a rough beginning. That's all I've got is a rough beginning to offer you. We're gonna start by singing some songs in this tiny space together. We're just gonna sing some songs for you, and we hope that when you hear them, you will feel a little bit less alone, and we will feel a little bit less alone in the work and in the hurt, and we will be together tonight somehow, whenever this is, wherever this is. We will be together tonight for the keep going on. Keep going on, song. This is a keep going on. Keep going on.
At our worship arts team meeting, we asked the poignant question, what would you tell yourself a year ago if you could go back and do so?
Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You'll find that this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. Act accordingly or you'll become exhausted.
Get ready to camp indoors, simplify life, get back to basics with fewer creature comforts, and enjoy it.
You won't be going to any chorus rehearsals this year, and all the performances will be canceled. But you will learn to sing into your selfie phone video and send it off to be put together into a small choir ensemble or even a worldwide project for hope against the COVID.
You will cry more tears this year than you thought possible. Good tears, bad tears, and sometimes it's just cry o'clock.
you will learn to find the reserves you never knew you had. That patience is a necessary virtue to carry into a pandemic.
You'll find you have more time to spend with the ones you love.
You'll say goodbye to a favorite furry family member in a field behind the animal hospital to keep everyone safe and distant. And you'll welcome a new prickly one into the family.
You won't miss the commute or the office tension. You will miss casual hallway conversations and wearing your pretty work clothes.
Learn to explore the joys of being in one's own company without relying on screen time, amidst limited in-person socializing and abundant opportunities for Zoom and Skype and FaceTime and WhatsApp.
Your marriage will be the worst it's ever been and the best it's ever been.
You won't be able to visit your grandkids in North Carolina or even in Hoboken this year. But there'll be a lot of FaceTime and Skyping, and you'll see those smiling faces and get a lot of virtual hugs.
Your home state of Georgia will be on your mind a lot. Ahmaud Arbery, Stacey Abrams.
You will realize that haircuts are overrated.
You're gonna be so glad you started using Zoom in 2015. Trust me, it's gonna be a thing.
You will learn how to accomplish things with computers that you never thought you had the skills or the desire to learn.
Because your hearing relies on seeing people's mouths, you'll never have any idea what anyone is saying behind their masks. You will hear everyone on Zoom.
You won't be going to the supermarket at all this year, but some wonderful friends and neighbors will be shopping for you and delivering your groceries. And when you finally get to go to the farmer's market yourself, you'll be smiling and buying way more vegetables and fruits than you could possibly eat this week.
You may panic in the grocery store because you see all these empty shelves, but it may give you time to think about how privileged we are to have this amount of stuff ready for us at any time. And maybe reflect on the fact that not everyone has this level of stuff, and wonder, is there a way that you too can maybe help fix this?
When we closed the doors 365 days ago on Sunday, March 8th, we had no idea that it could be a year or longer until we would return to worshiping in the same space together. Remember 2 weeks to crush the curve, which became 2 months to crush the curve, and then a second curve and 12 months and counting. There is so much I miss from before, and yet so much for which I am grateful now. I may miss what seemed like the most ordinary things. As a minister, I miss being able to shake hands or to give a hug. I miss being able to show up in a hospital room when one of you calls. I miss sitting around the dining room table on Tuesdays for staff meeting. I miss hosting members at the fellowship or in my house, whether a covenant circle, a board retreat, a staff gathering, an auction event. I miss you, the three-dimensional version of you. I miss them, the ones who are now gone and found in our memories and in our hearts. As a parent, I miss picking my son up at school and the banter amongst us parents as our children played on the playground. I miss the feeling of routine as we constantly shift from online to in-person school to half days to hybrid. I miss the feeling of being a competent parent or catching up, and I think my son misses it too. Last week, the two of us spoke about how the losses of the pandemic have affected us and how much harder every day can be, and how much he misses you too. I also find myself grateful a lot. As a minister, I am grateful for the gift of our community and how quickly and creatively we navigated getting online. I'm grateful for the care team, the worship team, the religious education team, the covenant circle and community circle teams, the justice team, the facilities team, the leadership teams, and the staff team. We have shown up for one another in so many new ways and continue to make a palpable impact in one another's lives and in furthering our mission to fuel a revolution of love in our community and in the world beyond. We are growing in resilience, in our faith, in new ways of doing things, and in deeper ways of addressing oppression and injustice. As a wife and partner, I'm so grateful for David, who is navigating being a teacher himself in a pandemic while parenting, and not to mention having picked up being a major support for our fellowship's technology during this time of distance. I'm grateful for outdoor spaces, for nature, for Zoom, and for all the connecting technologies that facilitate us being together while apart. I'm grateful for Unitarian Universalism, for our founders, and for every visitor we get to meet in this wide open virtual space of Facebook and YouTube and Zoom. We will open the doors of our fellowship once again soon enough, and please know our virtual doors will remain open too. Many of us long to go back, but let us not go back to what was normal. Let us go back having been changed by the hard-won wisdom of what we've been through and are still going through. Even if your life was okay before the pandemic, everything was far from okay. The pandemic continues to shine a light on these truths. Racial injustice creates disparities in every system in our country: housing, income, health, justice, education. The losses haven't been evenly distributed this past year. Human actions and non-actions are heavily consequential to the balance of all life on our planet. It is clear that the reduction of fossil fuels and the reduction of our encroachment on wildlife have made a big difference in just 1 year. We are in need of spiritual sustenance and places to make meaning, to build the bonds of community, and to care for one another. Our lives are intertwined, and we need places to belong, like this fellowship, where we can practice interdependent and multi-generational living. And one more truth I'll name today. Human beings are creative, resilient, and have the capacity to learn until we draw our last breath. Change is the constant, and we were made to rise to the challenge and the opportunities of change together. Let us not forget the truths that have been revealed to us so clearly in this time. Yes, we are here to be co-creators of change. We are the ones who are not satisfied with the world as it was before the pandemic or as it is now. The whole reason that people come across our threshold, the physical one or the virtual one, is because they long for something more or something different or something to change. So yes, let us return to the possibility of being physically in the same space. But let us not be the same people who said goodbye after coffee hour 12 months ago. Let us be and become a people who have grown and continue to stretch into the learnings of this time of physical separation. May we be ready, more ready, to change the things that limit us to who can physically show up. We have reconnected with old friends, made new ones, and opened up access to people near and far, to people unable to drive here, and to those who are unable to come on a Sunday morning. May we be more equipped to tear down the metaphorical walls that separate us, racism and other oppressions, an intense nationalism and an unfettered capitalism. May we be more compassionate, imaginative, and resilient. May we know that we can do hard things and even harrowing things and live to tell the story and to write a whole new chapter on the other side. May we know that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Just look around at all the heroes of this time. The nurses and the docs, the hospital maintenance staff, the chaplains, the teachers, the community organizers, the Black Lives Matter activists, the parents, the grandparents, the truth tellers, the scientists, the people who brought joy to the voting polls. So many people taking turns, showing up for one another, and making a world of difference. When we return, perhaps we'll be changed, most of all by knowing that every one of us is vulnerable, mortal, and in need. And every one of us has courage, strength, and wisdom. We are flawed human beings who can do some heroic things from time to time. It's important to take turns. What would you tell yourself a year ago if you could go back and do so?
You'll be spending a lot of holidays alone, Zooming with the family and sharing pictures of your traditional foods. But you'll figure out how you can all quarantine for 2 weeks so that you can come together down the shore with the extended family.
You will discover the joys of Zoom connections, and Zoom primping can be kind of fun.
You will long to be outside as much as possible.
You'll feel like a kid again when you remember how much you love playing Nintendo.
Discover the value of being mindful and compassionate for ourselves and for others as we navigate new ways of being and weather the stresses of upheaval of life as we knew it before the pandemic.
You'll be alone at home, feeling very isolated, and spend a lot of time on the phone and Facebook connecting with family and friends, near and far.
You are not alone. Parenting in a pandemic is overwhelming on many days and filled with family time you'll remember forever.
You're gonna watch so many movies. so many movies.
All the appliances will break.
You may remember you enjoy some of your old hobbies.
You will learn to slow down, take your time, be more mindful, because virtually everything takes longer now than it did before the pandemic. Enjoy the slow ride.
You'll learn to be more resourceful than ever, finding that hugging your family with a plastic drop cloth draped over your body will just have to do.
You will suffer loss this year like never before, and you are going to get through it.
You'll find that what matters most is being present to loved ones day to day and week to week, and that outshines whether you are able to be physically present on their last day.
You'll have more conversations and spend more time with your teenage daughter than you ever have in your lives together. In a strange twist, you'll realize these are the good old days.
Though days grow dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. When sorrow heals my soul and burdens make me strong, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. My sibling in my heart, my kindred in my song, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is clear. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. So siblings, take my hand, and kindred, sing my song. When hope awaits at every turn, we know we can go on.
Our closing words are by Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.